So, part 4 of our Keepy Uppy game is a right hand barrier. Part 5 is making a ceiling, which you're not supposed to get any help with, so that's going to be a challenge for you guys to complete. So you can see from mine that I have drawn a new right hand barrier. Hopefully it doesn't crash next time in full screen. And when we click the start flag, the only code I have is bouncing off the left hand edge. Now, just for quickness, and so I have a complete solution, I will draw in my bouncy ceiling, and I'm just going to stick to these blue colours to keep my theme going. And make sure you draw it in the middle when you create it, and then we can adjust where it is. And best to rename it, a roof, you can call it whichever you like. And I want to paint another new sprite, which we're going to call floor. And same idea again, on the bottom, this time I'm going to use red so we can see that there's some difference here. And drag and reposition it on the ground. And you can see there's some area here where it won't be possible for the ball to hit. Now, if you run your code right now, the only thing it interacts with is the left-hand wall, and it looks as if it's not working. So what you've got to do is analyse the code that's on the ball and get it working for hitting the right-hand side wall and the ceiling and the bat. And you've got to think about the X and Y coordinates. Now, our bat only moves X and Y, so really if we look at it, we can simulate the ball hitting from the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So the hint I will give you is that change the X coordinate when it hits the right hand edge, and when it hits the bat or the ceiling, change the Y coordinate. So the next time this video starts up, it will have that code completed. So hopefully now you can see that I have it bouncing off all 4 of these objects. So the right hand wall, the left hand wall, the ceiling, the bat. But if I let it hit the floor, nothing. Still no interaction with it at all. So that's what this video is going to help us to complete. So I've completed part 4, I've done part 5, and I've done some of part 6. So I've created the new sprite and I've repositioned it beneath our bat. I've renamed it. But I need to put in code that's going to do lots of different things. Whenever the ball hits the floor, lots of things need to happen. We need to reset the ball, we need to lose our life, and we need to check if we've got any lives left. So let's look at what we're going to see here. And when you do the challenges, this is where you'll add in extra code. So we need something similar like before to check if we're touching the floor, and something new we're going to look at is broadcasting a message. Now, broadcasting a message is something that allows all other sprites in the stage to realise that something has happened. Now, again, similar to all the other parts we've got, we always need to check forever, wherever the game's running, if we're touching the floor. Now, you could cheat. And it's not really a cheat, it's just a fast way of right click and choose duplicate, which would save a lot of time. So I have the if to check if we're touching the floor. And you can see from this code, we're using the broadcast messages, which are in the events. And you need to grab one of the broadcast messages, click the drop down, and create a new message called lose life, and hit OK. And we can see here that's we've got broadcast lose life and weight. The weight actually wouldn't make much difference for us here because all the other parts continue anyway, so we could actually just use a broadcast and not a weight, so there's no difference. What we need to do is have code that reacts when the ball loses a life or when the player loses a life. So we can find this when I receive the messages from the events, and we can change that to lose life. So what do we want to happen when we lose a life? Well, we want that ball to move back to a starting position and continue moving. And we want certain things to happen with sprites. Now this wait 1 second part hasn't been working, and I think I've just figured out why, and it could be to do with the wait 1 second, but it's not too important anyway. It was just to give the user time. So making sure we're on the ball sprite, want to choose the motion, and we can find the go to here, and if you look back at our previous coordinates, we can put it back to the same starting position it was at before. And now if we run our program again, check that it's bouncing, and this time we'll miss, and you can see it instantly moves back to the top, continues moving, still allows us to bounce, and if we let it hit the floor again, it bounces back. Now you may notice that there's some problems like this where it gets stuck, and that is because of the coordinates. We could change this, we could add more in to get it working, but if yours is doing this, it's fine. It's just difficulties in the language. It's a very simple language, but you can do lots in it. But there are some problems that exist with it. So if yours is doing that, it's perfect so far.